Welcome back, everybody. This is JP Trades. Let's jump back into another update on Bitcoin this morning. We got a really nice move from our previous day low target from yesterday up. And that PDL, our previous day low, was down here. And that was the target for this short that I mentioned that I took yesterday. And I didn't actually get all the way down there. I actually got out around this area. I didn't make it all the way there, but I'm grateful for what I was able to capture. And then we had this nice move up today, and we hit this large supply zone. We actually have a larger supply zone on the 4 hour as well. That was a very, very large order block. And we see now that we have deviated out of value. However, we are trying to come back into value. So right now we are fighting right at this value area high. And we can see that we have plenty of orders to the upside and the downside. So this is the battle now to see if we get acceptance back into value and we rotate back to the point of control and potentially all the way down to the value area low, or if we get a rejection from this value area and we continue higher to come back up and potentially come up to this level of liquidity here, or just take out these highs. And maybe, like I wanted yesterday, really was to continue up to this point of control here. We did not get that. So let's go to our TradingView charts. We have our levels. You could always, of course, go to my interactive charts and you can have all of these levels on your screen. You can have my exact chart, everything I have here on your screen. Set your alarms or alerts, whichever. Wait for these levels to get hit and then why did that not go? And then watch for your confirmations. Am I full on alerts? Interesting. Anyways, I'll have to check that later. So we did get this rejection already from this larger order block. However, we do have a smaller time frame order block inside of this that I'm watching for next. Where was that VWAP? Okay, yeah, we did kind of bounce from that VWAP there. It was also a weekly point of control. So what am I looking for next? Let's frame the trading day and see what we are looking for. Again, we're really just trading in a range, which I love because I have the most success trading ranges. I'm not a breakout trader. I do not trade breakouts. I don't really care to trade trend lines or patterns and all of that. I like all of these horizontal levels that are based on volume and based on supply and demand as well as liquidity. So what would I want to see first? Let's make a plan together because I have not actually come to the charts and done much TA yet today. So we have some volume. So that is it's going to align pretty closely to the sessions value area. Okay. And I'm just taking a look at volume throughout the local as well as macro ranges. Go to the 4 hour. We want to see what we're capturing here. Again, everything is pretty much bearish as far as market structure goes. So I am looking for further downside. I really don't care for these lows. I would like to wipe out all of this, to be honest with you. With this massive rejection, again, we can see that. Why did that happen? We had a massive level of liquidity here. You can see that on the charts. You had 767 sell orders, and you still have 666 or so sell wall still in that zone. So if it comes back up to the zone, I'm definitely expecting them to try to defend their level. However, we do have a even larger level of 1,000 Bitcoin up here, close to that point of control. Now, will those sitting limit orders, the passive orders, sit there and stay there, or will they get spoofed? That is something you'll have to wait and see when you get there. So let's continue on. I want to look at another volume pull from back here. Okay. It's very interesting. We have the golden pocket right here above this high, and we do have a tiny, tiny, tiny order block right here. We also have this high and this high sitting just below it. So we know, what does that tell us? We know that we have liquidity sitting here. That's very important. Are rejecting from the anchored view off as well. That might keep price down momentarily. And that was a perfect hit. Okay. Yeah, this VWAP bounce would have been our next long. And I definitely wanted this thing to come a little bit lower, to be honest with you. So with that said, let's go ahead and make our plan. And I got one more thing to look at here. I want to see what the golden pocket. Okay, perfect. Golden pocket perfectly aligns with our weekly and naked point of control level. So this is my favorite level to the downside. I like this level here. However, I would like to come back down and sweep all these lows. So this is my favorite level for a long. This would be my second favorite level for a long, back down into this order block. However, SFPing all these lows. And my trade ideas still stand for everything below these lows here that I've already spoken about. To the high side, this might give us a nice play, intraday or scalp trade. However, if I were to look for a trade that would go the distance a bit more, I would have to look at this level right here. And it's a tiny order block. And I don't necessarily like putting a lot of weight on tiny order blocks. However, it aligns with a lot of other nice things. So I really do like this as a short idea. I like this better than this one. However, I will be looking at all of these. Why? Because they all can lead to nice scalp trades, day trades that can also lead to a massive swing trade. So just because you are taking a trade, for example, I took these shorts up here, but I got out around this area. However, you can also take a short here and hold it to here if you like to. So all these levels doesn't mean that everything is going to be a scalp trade. Many of these levels turn into a multi-day or even a multi-week swing trade. Like this level here. Could have took this entire move up. However, I tend to make more by not holding my trades and separating each trade into its own trade because I can refine down. And that's why my system is really unique and why you see the results that I get. Let's pull up. I want to see the weekly one more time before I go. I want to see how we're holding that area. So we are holding the sessions. Yeah, so it really aligns both this weekly and the daily sessions are really both holding. So this is your weekly profile, and the gray line is your value area high, came down and whipped right into the point of control, and it is really trying to reclaim that value area high. We go to the daily sessions. It's pretty much doing the same thing. However, it can push down here back again, and we completely lose it, come back down to this naked point of control level. And that's where I'm going to be looking for that long. All right, so that's where I leave y'all. I'll update y'all on the Discord. Set your levels, set your alerts, wait for your alerts to go off, and always use the confirmation and proper risk management.